Look at the time.
Yeah, it says we're live.
It lies.
Sorry, folks, we had a sidebar going and didn't watch the time.
Let's see here. Okay, if you would like to keep the electricity going at the Blanket Fort donut here, we would like to stay warm. And in order for us to provide the quality content you have come to expect on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we need to be warm or cold, either way. King Harvest Coffees, King Harvest Imperial Coffees, for the discerning coffee drinker. Be sure you let them know you heard about it here when you ordered some. Also remembering that we have the second of our 2 King Harvest coffee anthologies coming out.
Closing tomorrow.
Thank you. I was going to say next Friday. My bad.
This is why you're not in charge.
That's exactly right. I are a publisher.
Also, King Harvest is running a hurricane sale currently because
Yes.
Hurricane Helene is headed for them like a freight train. They are not part of Florida that will get hit the hardest.
No, so far Tampa Bay has been treated pretty well.
Yeah, Tallahassee's gonna get it pretty rough.
Yeah.
It looks like.
There are Smartass t-shirts. There were several, I think, of these at Pecan.
Yeah.
So if you would like to dress like the finest con goer, get your Smartass t-shirt from Among the Leaves Tees. I'm feeling better today. Not great, but better.
You're awake.
I'm awake and I'm less fuzzed.
Hello, all.
John had a picture of 3 kittens just all fluffed out. She said this is the rack press staff after a con. She's not kidding.
Yeah. Oh. Well, I guess I'll start it off since I've been ranting already. The MSC, Maritime Sea Lift Command, has been, let me see if I can put this politely. No, I can't. Has been fucking away the crews on the ships to the point that they're talking about laying up or mothballing 17 ships out of MSC. Well, part of what MSC does is tankers and oilers. They had one oiler supporting Fifth Fleet. And it has either, depending on which report you want to believe, run aground or hit something in the water.
Hit the ground.
Yeah, it hit the ground.
The ground hit it.
Yeah.
A matter of degrees.
So the situation is that
Didn't run aground, the ground around the ship.
Yeah. The ship is leaking. The ship is being towed into Dubai to try to be repaired.
There's a decent harbor in Dubai, but
Yeah.
damn.
Well, the issue is they're short of oilers and have been for years. There are 3 currently in acceptance, 3 more being built, but they are not crewed, nor have they been finally accepted. So Navy's been short of oilers for a long time. We've relied on the Canadians, the Brits, and other friendly nations to assist with our oiling requirements. Without an oiler, what you have is the small boys, i.e. the destroyers or cruisers supporting the battle group, have to go on what is called restricted. Yes, I'm getting there, Todd, cool it. They have to go on what's called restricted maneuvering, which basically limits the speeds they can do, et cetera, et cetera. And it makes a minimum level fuel that much more important. Now, one of the options is an oiler, probably from Singapore, but that's a 9 to 10 day transit to get it to Fifth Fleet. Another option be pull an oiler, if there is one, and I'm pretty sure there is.
But you'll leave the med short in order.
Which then leaves the med short, yeah.
The med's a little frisky right now.
And so it's Fifth Fleet. And yes, the oiler does supply jet fuel.
As far as all petroleum products, if I read the fine language correctly.
But the more critical part is the jet fuel. So now we have a set of interesting issues. Now there is a third possibility, and that is that the carrier itself can be a refueling platform. Most of the carriers do have a limited capability, assuming they can find all the parts and pieces, and assuming they've actually done it in the last year. There is also a methodology that, as far as I know of, has not been tried in quite a while to fuel from a commercial tanker. And that requires basically a towed.
Wow.
Yeah. It's
Not
not your
altogether-
norm.
I'm not altogether comfortable with that idea.
So the fourth option is you start peeling support vessels off, your cruisers and destroyers. Yeah. KC-46 arresting hook. No, not enough. The fourth option is you start peeling off your small boys. As soon as they get to X fuel, they run to the nearest port, refuel, and run back out. But that does not get you avgas for the airplanes. So there's a hell of a situation, basically.
Greg said earlier, SecNav and SecDef should be fired over this. I agree. Out of a cannon.
Well, this goes further back than that. This
seems like we're overly dependent on a critical point that obviously if one thing breaks and it leaves us in this vulnerable position, this is not a good idea. I mean, I don't know how much
the Navy has known about this for 10 years.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I mean, we with Rack Press, we're constantly talking about
Yeah.
the weak links, the
Yeah.
points where we're failure, where we have
Single
one
points of
thing
failure.
breaks.
Right.
And you had mentioned the refueling from a commercial tanker of some
Yeah.
kind. That seems like that would be a good backup system to create and train with in case we get into a pickle like this.
Well, the problem is getting a tanker that will agree to do it, one,
Right.
providing the insurance.
Getting it through the Straits of Hormuz now that the Iranians know we're looking for a tanker.
Not so much that, but getting the insurance. Third, getting the crew trained up on how to do it,
Yeah.
because this is not an easy operation.
Right, and that's why I was saying that it seems like it's something that should get trained as an emergency basis. Being able to do that.
Yeah. Well, Sir Brass, there's also an issue with the subforce, but that's a different issue. So,
And here I am as a newly fledged Navy mom, wincing every time these things come up now.
Yeah.
I'm also starting to watch like videos on Navy history. I probably shouldn't do.
Probably stop doing that.
yeah.
Just don't.
So what you end up with is now, you have a fleet sitting in a hot environment, potentially going hotter, that is not full mission capable, which is not a good place to be.
It just gives me the warm fuzzies.
Yeah. But the issue with MSC is, and this goes back to manning, not having adequate manning. Because years ago, the decision was made that, we can crew these with civilian crews and save money. So you've got 70, 80 crew that are civilians. And you have 5 or 6 sailors who run the actual equipment. Yeah, at least 10 years, probably longer than
I
that.
remember when, back in my day,
Yeah.
the mess hall was run by by mess sergeants and trained soldiers trained to be cooks.
Yeah.
And the occasional unlucky KP.
Yeah.
I remember the big debate about how much more cost effective it would be to bring in civilian contractors to do the
Yeah.
cooking. And as most things, it was more cost effective in the first couple of years. And then once they were dug in there like a tick,
Yeah.
all of a sudden it wasn't cost effective anymore.
Yep. Cisco Systems and Marriott
And Aramark.
and Aramark are the three biggies that have all the civilian mess contracts.
And evidently the food sucks and the cases of food poisoning also suck.
Yes, very much so.
So,
The other side of that coin is the billeting, the on-base housing. We will sublet this to private contractors, and everything will be fixed.
Bullshit.
The number of lawsuits currently ongoing by military personnel against these housing corporations for mold,
Mm-hmm.
unrepaired 2-3 years into a housing deployment. Frankly, some of the places are falling down.
Apparently, there's a barracks on the East Coast that's been taken over. It's been assigned to a private housing thing, and 50% of the showers in the barracks don't work and haven't worked with work requests going back 18 months.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. That's what I've been told. I don't know if that's the actual case, but that's what I've been told.
Yeah, and back in the day, I stayed in the barracks in Moffett Field that had been built in 1943 or 44. Yes, it was open bay, but everything worked.
Mm-hmm.
And we still were using it in the late 70s.
In the 80s, a lot of engineering MOSs got a shit ton of training.
Yeah.
By fixing plumbing and wiring.
Yeah.
And every base I've been on in the 80s and early 90s, the chow was decent food.
Yeah.
Chow hall was decent food. It wasn't great.
Yeah.
But it didn't suck either. The last time I went at the jail Jim and I worked at, Aramark was the food contractor.
Yeah.
At United Regional Hospital, the last time I checked, Aramark is the food contractor at United Regional. Folks, don't go with outside contractors for your food.
Yeah.
The Aramark took over. The county had their own cook, their own cooking staff, and inmate workers. And then Aramark came in swearing that they would make it less expensive. And again, the first 3-4 years it is less expensive. Then you get dug in.
Yeah.
Same thing at United Regional. They had their own cooks, had their own cook section. Aramark came in, we'll make it cheaper. And it was for a while. Now it's more expensive and it sucks.
Yeah.
Electric Memorial, last I checked, still has their in-house cooks. And that's good food.
Yeah.
Or was. Last time I was in the hospital. If I have to go to the hospital around here, I go to Electric Memorial because the food's decent.
Yeah.
Plus, they know me and they know my foibles.
Of which you might have one or two.
Dozen.
So anyway, the Navy screwed the pooch again. So not sure how it's going to get resolved. Actually, not sure why it got made public like it did.
Yeah, because that's the other thing about this is now the enemy knows we have a major vulnerability
in the Arabian Persian Gulf, and the Iranians.
Yeah, and apparently this was some civilian that made it public.
Yeah. Now the Iranians know that if we've got a tanker coming from Singapore, if they can slow it down, that's what I'd do.
Yeah, push comes to shove. Yep.
All you do is slow it down, shut outside tank, and the Iranians, especially with a fleet that doesn't have any fuel, the Iranians can shut down. The Iranians shut down the Strait of Hormuz. Granted, they'll bleed for it, but they can shut it down.
Yeah, Dagamore. Some of the excuses that some of the housing companies used was just absolutely friggin' unbelievable.
Always is.
Yeah.
I got to see a little video of my son's room.
Yeah.
They had cleaned up for like an inspection or something, so he was showing it off to me.
It's the only time it'll be clean.
No, it'll be clean.
They actually, I gather, have people in looking at their room like once a week,
Yes.
and then once in a while they have a more in-depth inspection. But It is not as nice as a dorm room.
Oh no! Oh no! 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 And the asbestos just adds that certain something,
Yeah.
and the lead paint adds that certain something something to a barracks. You just don't get it
Yeah,
at
I
all.
don't know how old. I would say that the barracks that he's in is not actually all that old.
Heresy.
See,
Oh.
Heresy.
I mean, I don't know for
Heresy.
sure, but
2-man or a 4-man room?
it's a 3-man room, but there's only 2 of them in there. For a while, it was just him, and then there was another guy came back in too when he started.
I will.
So
I will tell that boy I will send him a UV flashlight. I dare him. I dare him to turn off the light, start the video recorder, and shine the UV light
yeah,
around.
he knows better.
I dare him.
It was nice to see him at Pecan.
Yes, it was.
So
He's
Yes,
got-
Don,
boy's gotten skinny.
the lead paint tastes better.
It's
Yes.
sweeter. The lead paint's sweeter than the,
Yeah.
the non-lead paint's just bitter as hell. It
Yeah.
just doesn't have quite the same crunch.
Yeah, besides which the asbestos in it's kind of chewy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the world is changing in interesting ways.
It always does.
Yeah.
The world is always changing in interesting ways. That's what the
So-
world does.
And right now we've got Helene hitting Florida.
Has it made a hurricane yet or still tropical?
It's the Category 3 hurricane when it came across the beach.
Oh wow.
well, no, it hasn't officially made landfall yet. It may be as high as Cat 4 when it hits.
The leading edge was supposed to already be ashore. Did it slow down?
I was hearing not making landfall until like 8 o'clock this evening.
Oh, okay.
But I am sure that there's already, because I know Maggie Hogarth was talking about band.
One of
She
our
got caught out under walk
Yeah.
on the leading edges.
one of our Chris Note, one of our editors. Yes, I got it. Y'all can't have it. Cannon. Chris Note's out that way. I think he's nailing everything down.
Well, he's a lot further east or west, thank God for small favors.
Yeah.
Yes, there was at least one Waffle House that they did board up
Yeah,
the
they
windows,
boarded up. Wow.
but they left the lights on. So
Well, the predictions that I was seeing was like 15 to 20 foot storm surge.
Yeah.
And I have lived in Florida. There are parts of that state that aren't 15 to 20 feet above sea level.
no,
Yep.
not even close.
So where I spent my first year of kindergarten doesn't exist anymore because of a hurricane.
Yeah.
I was at Homestead Air Force Base with my dad when I was real little, and Homestead was wiped off the face of the earth by Hurricane Andrew.
Oh yeah,
I'm a sea kid. I've been within 50 or 100 miles of the sea my entire life till I moved up here. And after I got out of the military, I went down to Galveston because I wanted to get back. And I realized when I saw a big wave on a normal day go from all the way across the island, I thought, Texas is not the seashore I want to.
I spent 20 years in the Navy. Why do you think I'm all the way up here?
I know why you're all the way up here.
Yeah. I do not want to live on the beach or that near the ocean.
I mostly lived near a rocky coastline, so I would love to be near a rocky coastline. I'd love to be on a rocky coastline.
Yeah.
But I also want to be about 200 feet off the water.
Yeah.
Up in altitude.
And Greg has been checking, said leading edge is ashore on the Tampa side.
Okay.
Ice traveling north toward Tallahassee. Roads next to the beach in Tampa are underwater.
Yep. None of that's a surprise. Yeah, I had looked at it earlier, but I think everyone I know of that is in Florida is safely well away from it. So I wasn't too unduly concerned about.
The people that I know have already packed and left.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a sensible thing to do in this case.
I'm from Malta. I want a nice rocky coastline and a house on a cliff 200 feet off the water, so I don't have to worry about it.
Dagamore says, I live on the beach. Just sand all the way to the ocean from Tucson. Dagamore, okay.
It works.
Point. That's a good point.
I mean, I miss when we were in New Hampshire. It was a couple hours drive to go to the beach, and we usually went to Maine because the coastline of New Hampshire is minuscule and usually fairly crowded with people from Massachusetts. and it was a rocky coastline and beautiful lighthouses and just a lovely place
Yeah.
to go. But where I grew up with it was the Pacific coast and up into the Gulf of Alaska.
Yeah.
And that's a whole different. The Atlantic and the Pacific are very different, even if you're
Oh,
only
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
experiencing
Oh,
it
yeah.
from the tidal pools.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, John, Plymouth Rock LSD 29. If it was launched in the 50s, yeah, a lot of the pipes are wrapped with asbestos.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Going from the mid, which was the sea I grew up on, the Mediterranean, to the Atlantic, was a shock.
Yep.
I knew the sea, and the sea off the coast of Africa is a whole different lady than the sea
Oh,
off around Malta. Whole different lady.
And Greg's
Yeah, the Atlantic is not
And-
a nice ocean.
Mm-mm.
says Tallahassee has closed all their Waffle Houses. Yep.
Oy.
But they will be open
not a
as
good
soon as
time.
possible
Oh,
afterwards.
I will say, Pecan. I discovered that DJ Jason Fleming had never been to a Waffle House.
Hopefully you fixed that.
I fixed that. I took him to
Good.
Waffle House, and when he was done, he looked at me in a very Deej way and said, "Well, I'm not part of the cult, but that was a good waffle." I'm not joining the cult, but that was a good waffle.
The last
Jesse, you got to get it right. You got to add the third part. The med can get pissy, yes.
Yeah.
The Atlantic actually actively dislikes you, and the Pacific's just going to try to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
There is a reason.
The med throws hissy fits. It really does.
Yeah.
And I grew up near the sea, around sea folks, and I think of the ocean as a lady. And the Atlantic actually hates your guts and wants to kill you. I don't know about the Pacific.
Grab you by the ankle and drag you under. I
Okay.
spent very little time in the Atlantic Ocean, whereas the Pacific, I mean, I grew up a water baby there. There
Yeah.
are pictures of me paddling around in tidal pools when I couldn't walk yet.
Yeah, but
And-
the tidal pools are different than the big ocean.
Yes, they are.
The Arabian Gulf, Persian Gulf, is a lot like the Med, except a bit saltier.
Yeah.
And again, it throws hissy fits, but Atlantic,
Yeah.
that just wants
Hey,
to
Jim.
kill you.
Yeah, the Pacific,
Hey, Jay.
there is a reason that most of the buildings that survive in the Pacific, like Okinawa, Guam, Philippines, Taiwan, are all butt ugly concrete unpainted because they have been through a number of typhoons.
Hmm.
And there's no point in painting it because the
Next one's
typhoon will come through and take the paint right off
strip
of
the
it.
paint right off of it.
I sat in Okinawa in the Westpac Inn. Some of you may have seen the video that was taken. I did not take it, but it was taken from Westpac Inn of the parking lot where all the cars blew to one end of the parking lot. The eye came through, and then the cars blew to the other end of the parking lot. We were there for that. And there was a Marine major staying down the hall from us that was having kittens because he had just bought his car
Oh no!
and did not have insurance yet.
Oh no!
there's a cold current comes up and along the west coast of Africa, Namibia.
Yeah.
I think it's the Barangala current, but
Yeah.
don't quote me on that. It's cold and nutrient rich,
Yes.
and it comes up and life just explodes. But all that cold water hitting all that hot air.
Yeah.
The Namibian coast is called the shipwreck coast and the coast of no return.
Yeah.
Because wow, it is that's a nasty, and that's the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Is the shipwreck coast? That's a nasty ass coast. It
Yeah.
really is.
Well, in Westpac, you've got the Oyashio current, the Kurashio current, which both run up parallel to the coast. They join up north of Japan to become the Alaska current, which then becomes the California current as it goes across, which is why the Pacific coast is the water is so damn cold.
Because it's coming right out of the Arctic.
Now you get down around the Marshall Islands, truck down in there, and the water is 80 plus degrees. It's bath water.
Mm-hmm.
Truck Lagoon, we dove that in 76, 77. Water temp in Truck Lagoon was 88 degrees.
Wow.
Yeah.
Almost too warm to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
Oh.
you get down to the Indian Ocean, and they have what they call a roaring 40s, which just wrecks ships, spits them out, you know.
I think the that latitude, I think the Barangala Current in Namibia is at the
Yeah.
is at the 40s. But don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
It is the Namibian coast is a nasty, nasty place. Even for modern
Yeah.
ships, that's a nasty, nasty place.
But the current off of the southern coast of Australia in the winter, which is our summer, in the winter, the water is so rough there that nobody makes passage through there unless it's an emergency.
Well, I believe it.
They will actually go all the way around the entire coast to around the north side to get from Perth to Sydney. And Adelaide and Melbourne basically get little to no ship traffic in the winter.
I know it's easier to bypass Namibia to the north or south.
Yeah.
Offload where the water's safe, and have the freight trucked.
Yeah.
In overland because it's easier.
Now, Greg, we didn't get to typhoon evac to PI. The airplanes went to Guam because that was behind the typhoon, and we got to sit there, which was still better than being on the ship.
No kidding.
When the typhoon did a 270 and chased the ship all the way back to Okinawa. And one of the guys that was riding for me was a little bit less than happy with me. But he said, I am not getting paid enough to be at a Sea State 7 with a 300-foot ship. Much less with a 20,000-pound rig on the back of the ship that we had to go out and put more chains on 5 times. He said, besides which, all I've had for eat for 3 damn days is beef jerky. And I can't go to the bathroom.
Battered squid jerky.
Yeah.
Now Jay Totten, Jim Totten's on here. He's pre-ordered up for his latest book, and y'all about want to check it out. Anybody that can write about pole dance aviation?
Yeah.
I had fun with that cover.
Yeah.
And he gets you going.
Yeah. And that comes out Friday.
It does.
Mm-hmm.
So tomorrow.
I think he may have it up on pre-order.
It
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
It is
It's
up
on
on pre-order.
pre-order.
I didn't remember if he'd put it up for pre-order or if it was.
Yes.
I like that. Pole dance aviation PDA is also public displays of affection.
Yes.
Yeah.
I appreciated that. That was.
Yeah, Richard.
Straight face doing it.
North Atlantic is another interesting place in the winter. North Atlantic and Bering Sea are compatible.
What if I want to kill you?
Yeah, both want to kill you. Both will generate enough ice on your ship that they will roll the ship over.
I miss the sea. I do. I sometimes wake up with the smell of the sea in my nostrils from dreams. I do miss the sea. I grew up around it.
Yeah.
Places like Bering Sea and North Sea. No, hell no.
Well, I've seen both of them in full force, which is why I have never watched the show about crabbing.
Oh, sea crabs.
No, because the few times we tried to fly rescues out of ADAC, there was nothing there.
The Coast Guard, God bless them.
Yeah. They clank when they walk, especially dangerous catch. Yeah. Especially the ones that fly out of Kodiak and the ones that man the ships, the WEHACs cutters out of Kodiak.
No.
Those people, men and women up there, are friggin' crazy.
I'm nuts. They're crazy.
Yeah. But I can't watch the show because it brings back memories I just as soon forget.
What is it? The saying, the manual says you have to go out. Doesn't say anything about coming back.
Yep. And that's where they lose a lot of people. That's why people choose the Air Force instead of the Navy. That's true, Bob.
Manual says you have to go out. Doesn't say anything about coming back.
Yeah, of course, some of us didn't want to go in the Air Force because we didn't want to salute relatives either.
Is that specific to you or general?
Well, that's specific to
Okay.
me.
I was getting worried.
I was not going to support, not going to salute my
Does
cousins.
the Air Force tree branch at all? Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's also the Navy rescue saying. Yeah, Army, you can walk.
Padre is completely correct and exactly why I chose, because I scored high enough in the ASVAB, the Coast Guard actually called.
Yeah.
And the joke was that, Ian, you can still walk ashore.
Well, I got my draft notice, and I'm looking at the Army going, I don't want to walk to work. And the Navy backdated my papers 3 days. So,
Chose the Army because we can walk out of trouble. You are correct.
Yeah.
If there's a problem, I can walk. I'm
and I
good
can
at
swim.
it. I can't swim that far.
Yeah.
I can't swim that far. Never had a flat in my Lamborghinis. Uh-huh.
And then there's my kid that decided to go live in a hole in the ocean.
Noisy hole in the ocean.
We knew he wasn't that bright to begin with.
Yeah.
It's like he's going to go. So he could have gone. He could have been a CB. He could have been a CB.
Yeah.
He could have been blowing things
I don't know
up.
why he didn't do a CD, but
He could have been exploding things.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing makes put a smile on your face more than blowing something up that needed blowing or setting those folks on fire. There's nothing that put a smile on your face like setting deserving on fire over there.
Yeah.
speaking of setting things on fire,
Oh, yes.
in Boy's Action Adventure, there's no explosions on the covers of any of these,
Oh,
but
no.
that'll do for showing them.
People keep asking what we're looking for in Boy's Adventure. Here, John Van Stry, he let us borrow these, and he had just got done rereading them, and was just agog at the quality of the writing.
Yeah.
Well,
when you have Alfred Hitchcock involved, that might have something to do with it.
Well, even before this, the one that I was showing to y'all, Pee Wee Harris Fixer, the Boy
Yeah.
Scout book that I started reading, the writing in it is just so good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so elegant.
the first page of Pee Wee Harris introduces you to the boy. You get a really good sense of his character, and it never doesn't tell you anything. It shows you all of this.
Yeah.
You get a feeling for the kid, his family,
Yep.
what his personality is like, and his outlook on life, and it's so well done.
Yeah.
And that is the kind of stuff I hope we're going to get, because
Mhm.
kids enjoy that kind of stuff too. I mean, having stories be dumbed down or oversimplified is part of what puts them off wanting to read.
Mhm.
I mean, I can remember the babysitting club books that my sister liked to read were just stultifyingly stupid. And so, I mean, I moved on pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And even today, someone was talking about the little condensed books. They were these little square books that were like condensed classics for children, little fat pulp paper things. And I can remember running across a couple of those that were so overly condensed, because I had read the real edition of whatever it was, not Moby Dick, because even I'm not that crazy. But yeah, those are great ways to introduce kids to classics, is having them be rewritten a little bit.
Hey, Bill, welcome.
He finally suckered me in.
Good.
Bill, bless his heart, has been after me to come up and at least see the range. And I have finally pulled the trigger.
Okay.
And December, I'm going to go up there for a couple of days to do some couple runs on a simulator and work at getting my damaged eyes behind a red dot.
Good. and
Yeah.
relax and have some fun with it too.
If I can unconnect, if I can disconnect the have to be good with a gun, I should be okay.
Yeah.
Because I know that when I transition to a red dot, especially trying to get my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't think y'all quite understand how damaged my eyes are. Green dots are not possible for me because of the damage. I'm going to get frustrated. I know this. I'm going to work on it, but I'm going to get frustrated.
Yep. The Tiffany's, she's on a werewolf kick. Yes, there can be werewolves in children's stories. Write it.
Why not, Tiffany? And you know what it is, Ian? It's what all of us, a little bit oppositional defiant. So if you tell us we can't, suddenly that's all we can think about.
Yeah, you are not allowed to write unicorn stories. How's that?
And Bill says, I'm used to frustrated. All good. We'll get you sorted.
Yeah.
Tiffany says, 10 years of watching Werewolf on Fox.
The damage in my eyes is in the retinas, and
Yeah.
so somebody brought a pistol with a green dot scope or sight to Jim's house, and I am strongly left eye dominant, and I brought it up to my left eye, and the entire screen was green.
Yeah. Hey, Jim.
Hey, Jim Anders.
We were just talking about you earlier.
In a nice way. I mean, there was, I think when I went over my right eye, there was a crosshair.
Yeah.
And my left eye, the entire screen was green. There was nothing in there.
Dagamore, really? How does one get in touch with a Buddhist wolf? And a werewolf. Really?
And I need to talk to Jim Anders later on about getting on some next year, getting on some Ribeye of the Sky.
Yeah. Jim, we were talking about maybe coming up and have supper with y'all one night.
Apparently, Kelly and Brian and Matt are hunting the weekend after Thanksgiving. We might scoot up there and have dinner. Have dinner. Wow!
You're not awake yet. Go back to sleep.
Woo!
Hey, Larry.
Scoot up there and having. Also, I need to talk to you. We have an author friend that's getting into pistols, and I would like her to have top-notch training if we can get her over here.
Yeah, that might be possible.
I would trust Jim to teach any lady that we know.
Yeah.
Or Bill, for that matter.
Yeah.
we might be able to get her to Meade Hall, come to think.
Yeah, we can look at it.
I mean, you need to talk her into it.
Yeah. We have options.
We have friends.
Dalai Lama and the New York hot dog vendor. Maybe one with everything.
Before you say you're flattered, understand that I have never hunted either waterfowl or sandhill crane ever. The only shotgun hunting I've done is dove and the occasional pheasant. So I have no idea. And Kelly Grayson has for years wanted to get me on ducks, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't even know what ducks I'm allowed or not allowed to shoot.
And birds move very differently.
Yes.
One kind of bird moves differently than another kind of bird. It's part of the identification that I learn, not because I'm shooting them, but because I'm trying to figure out what the name to give it.
Yeah.
Some birds have these long swooping pads.
Yeah.
Others do not.
Dawn, you're another one on the list. I have decided that since I'm retired-ish, that I want to start doing. I want to get away from tactical stuff and more to the fun stuff. So I'm going to go hunting. So,
well, I am all for anything that brings me with tasty meat to cook.
I went on one pheasant hunt, one very expensive pheasant hunt. Oof. I got drug along. And I killed one pheasant.
Well done. Did you beat it to death with a shotgun stock?
No, it was coming straight at me, and I went, Boom.
It's attacking. Attack profile. Attack profile. Whoop whoop.
And the dog went out, looked down, looked up, looked back at me, and like, really? There's nothing left.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was.
He had the red alert siren and was about to.
So
Some bitch came straight at me. I
Attack
mean,
profile. Attack
eye
profile.
level.
my uncle told me a story one time on my mom. Mom and her brothers and sisters, she's the oldest,
Yeah.
grew up a good chunk of their lives on a homestead in Alaska. And hunting was essential or you didn't eat.
Yeah.
Well, evidently my mom taught herself how to do headshots with her little 22
Oh,
because
wow.
they were hunting for grouse.
Yep.
And if you hit a grouse anywhere else,
Yeah.
you're not eating it too.
Yeah. Yes.
But I haven't been shooting for fun in so many decades that fuck it, I'm going to do some hunting.
Yeah.
I mean, the last hunting Jim and I did down south, got that friggin' pervert that I can't get the angle on.
Rupert,
Rupert the pervert
with his little convoy of yearlings.
of non-shootable deer.
Yeah.
Because he's a pervert. But no, Kelly Grayson wants me to learn to. He said I'll have fun with ducks, and I need to talk to Jim, and I'll just talk to Jim about. All right, here I am. The hell do I do? I don't know if there's ducks you can't shoot. I don't know if there's ducks you can shoot.
Yeah, it does depend, apparently.
I do know that ducks are damn good eating.
Yeah, one does have to be careful to get all the pellets out of any carcass.
Yes. I can remember doing that. I was at my great grandmother's visiting, and someone brought a brace of ducks.
Yeah.
And Grandma taught me how to butcher them and fund the pellets, and basically just you're stroking the muscles and
Yeah.
looking for any little hard spots so you can then dig out.
And
So, sometimes you can see the wound tracks, sometimes no.
sometimes no.
Yeah, because they'll travel.
So I've got Bill and Meade Hall a couple hours away.
Yeah.
Might as well start taking advantage of it.
Yeah, talking about books though, Larry's got a new one out in short stories. It's multiple short stories.
Which Larry?
Larry Lambert.
Okay. There's still so many.
It's been very well received.
Has it?
Good.
And he and Jules are apparently doing the next one in the Loci series, which is an interesting little series. So we've got a lot of folks out there. Yeah, mental image. Ian Elmer meets a 3,000-pound moose.
I learned to hunt in Africa.
Yeah.
A 3,000-pound moose is
Yeah.
a decent sized moose, I guess.
That'd be a big
3,000-pound moose is a big moose.
Yeah.
It's also a small
Elephant, yes.
Yeah.
wildebeest, big gazelles,
Yeah,
small
1,500 to 2,000 pounds, about the biggest moose. But we've got a number of folks that are writing, a number of good books that are out there. And, folks, you can go read these, and they're not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
No.
Because most of our friends price our stuff realistically. So you're not going to pay $9 or $15 or $16
$24.99
or $24.99 for an ebook.
Nah.
And we're coming on to fall, and there's going to be less stuff we can do outside.
Mm-hmm.
So, so many Larrys and Jims and Ians. Yeah.
Doug Irvin makes a good point.
Yeah.
One of my issues with Jim, just understand that I'm trying. My left eye is the bad one. It's also my dominant eye. And one of the things Bill's trying to do is get me switched over to right eye dominant for shooting.
Yeah.
This is I'll be very, very interesting.
Yeah. But I try to do book promos on a routine basis.
Oh, Jesse. Jesse needs to add a line. Jesse Barrett needs to add a line to his business card. Weapons dealer for publishers.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jesse's dealing weapons to both sides of the current duck conflict.
Well, that's all right. Did you guys see what happens when you send a sailor to buy ammo?
What?
I was busy buying tamales, and
Oh,
so I
dear.
sent Johan to find
Oh, dear.
something. I was like, because when I was asked to pick up some ammo by someone who shall not be named because he's on the oppositional side.
Is that where the Christmas ornaments came from?
Yes, that's what happens when you send a sailor to pick up ammo. He couldn't find small like ping pong balls or something soft that wasn't going to hurt when hurled. So he comes back with a bag full of Christmas ornaments, also champagne poppers and candy. So this is what a sailor considers ammo. It's a little flashier.
If it works.
Little plastic
I
Christmas
wondered
balls.
why Copley was throwing Christmas ornaments at me.
Because that's all he had, the poor man.
And Don goes, well, that's where the profit is, dealing to both sides.
Yes.
And Flippin's going, is Sam required to stay neutral?
Hell no. Oh, there were so many people who were delighted.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Jesse had slipped some wiffle foxes into the mix. I knew he had before, but I thought I got rid of all those. I didn't realize in this bag there were wiffle foxes. And when I was passing out ammo and doing the dun, 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 and passing out ammo, I didn't realize I was handing out wiffle foxes. Oh, and a wiffle squirrel. So the people that were catching wiffle foxes and wiffle squirrels were delighted.
Yeah.
It was great.
Well, it's all in fun. And
hell yes.
There's going to be a third side with the Alpha Mercs.
Oh, no,
And
there's going to be
probably a fourth side with Jumpmaster.
Jumpmaster and 3 Ravens.
Yeah.
Jumpmaster's already announced that they don't stay
It's going to be
neutral.
a 5-sided battle.
At least. There will be alliances and
people will run out on their alliances. Yeah. Pecan is still all about squirrels. Yeah, that's pretty much true.
Jim, I will get with you a little later about next year setting up at least one duck hunt. I want to try ducks. Yeah, there will be alliances and betrayals. It's going to be a heck of a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It'll be something people will be talking about for. Ben Yellow was so delighted. He was sitting there at the back of the panel holding a wiffle duck and just grinning.
Yeah.
When I ran past him with Sam, he's sitting back at the wiffle duck just grinning. It's like, okay, we have done something good.
Yes.
Oh, now I'm looking for a template for a wiffle waffle.
A wiffle waffle. Oh, that's fun to say.
Oh, that could be.
I do take the squoozle, and somebody almost ran off with my squoozle. My squoozle had a shiner box in it, and somebody almost ran off with my squoozle.
The Liberty Con craft room will be accorded neutral territory. Yes.
Well, and we'll treat it just like everybody treated Switzerland in World War II.
Arms dealers everywhere.
Yeah, Bill, that's something else we need to talk about.
There are several authors. One was talking to Jim at Pecan. I've had a couple of the female persuasion that are asking our advice on guns. And what I'd like to do is just set up for a weekend and get everybody down to Mead Hall.
Yeah.
I just don't know when. It's gonna be a while. Be patient.
Yeah. Because this is literally herding cats.
No kidding.
When's the next potluck? Is in January?
Yeah.
So that might be something to shoot for. Is if we can get them and Bill to the potluck.
Yeah, it depends on the weather, though.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always a problem, but at least we can shoot
the thing about Mead Hall is it's got that wonderful simulator.
No. Ideally, we'd get them there, but they'd have an initial conversation
with Bill.
Yeah.
Might be because we can't take a group of people to Bill of a vast array of abilities and expect the poor man to.
No, we could work various. There are ways to do that.
Waiting for Mead Hall to pop up on the and say challenge accepted.
Yeah. I mean, I've met Bill. Bill's great. He can undoubtedly deal with it. Still, it's not a nice thing to spring on someone.
Well, we could there are others of us that are instructors, and we could do the basic stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's kind of what I'm thinking
Yeah.
about with the
and
potluck too.
That's it with the simulator. With the simulator,
Yeah.
Bill can run damn near dead on, so with actually no danger to anybody involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah.
Uh,
'Cause I think Tiffany's interested, and there's 3 or 4 other
Yeah.
female authors that are interested in shooting.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I sometimes think that this style of species isn't as smart as they should be sometimes,
Yeah.
because they think we're safe to talk to about that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, Differs is throwing Kermit under the bus. He's the cat man. He doesn't hurt him, they follow him.
Tiffany.
Yes,
So,
I am familiar with Kermit's legend of cats and
Yeah.
how these things happen.
Wally, trust me. Bill at Mead Hall is world class, and Jim Anders and Childress is world class too.
Yeah.
Jim is a sweetheart.
Bill, I will definitely add you to the list for the January one.
You get Jim down to a potluck.
We should figure out how to move the potluck notifications off of just Facebook.
Yeah.
Probably email. We can
I'm
build
up.
a little email.
I'm up.
Yeah.
Well, no, because I can manage that.
Yeah.
If we have a little email list and I have a little spreadsheet and I just shoot off the sign up sheet.
Yeah.
To 20, 30 email addresses, that's easy enough.
It's
do.
amazing the broad spectrum of talented people we know. And quite honestly, honest to God, salted earth folks too.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, I just
Bill at Mead Hall is genuine salted earth
yeah.
guys. If Central Oklahoma, if you need gun or self defense training,
Yeah.
Mead Hall. You can find it on you Google search for Mead Hall as in the drink. Bill is a world class instructor, and he brings in world class instructors.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got some famous names coming through there.
And it is a nice range. It's well laid out. It's safe.
And I say he brings in world class instructors.
Yep. Lots of quality. But folks, there's a lot of options out there.
I say we such a broad spectrum of talented people we know.
Yeah.
How the hell did we wind up knowing them?
I don't know.
Seriously.
That's like sometimes when I think about the team that we've got put together for Rack Press, it's just like, how did we do this?
Right.
I'm not gonna argue with it. We've got some fantastic people we're working with. But
We do. We have world class people working for Rack Press.
Yeah.
Seriously, guys, the success for Rack Press is not on me. It's on the folks that wandered by and said, "All right, I'm helping."
yeah.
Cedar,
No, I mean
Jonna,
Sarah.
Clitheroe.
Yep.
Send me your manuscripts. Your editing sucks.
Yeah. Some of the people that we know are rather aggressive.
Oh,
Aggressively helpful.
Yes.
Yes.
aggressively sweet.
Maggie Gonzalez, your Spanish sucks. Send it to me. I'll fix that shit.
Right.
Miggy is a dear. I'm
Also,
sorry I haven't gotten
Biggie's
to meet him in
also
person
a
yet.
fantastic gun guy.
Long time shooter.
I enjoy his Substack.
Yeah.
The man can snark. And I like
Oh
that.
yeah.
I want to get Miggy into Texas and just sit down over a beer and some barbecue and just snark.
See, this is why I like cooking for people, because then I get to listen in on the conversations.
I was looking at recipes after Kelly tried to talk me to the Sandhill Crane hunt with Jim Anders.
Mhm.
Started looking at recipes. I didn't realize Sandhill Crane was a thing.
Hmm.
It's apparently affectionately called the ribeye of the sky.
Interesting.
That's about the fourth time you said that.
Yeah,
This is
because
a
it's-
hint.
This is making me
it's
drool.
on his mind.
Yeah.
So
It's kind of making me drool.
I have had ostrich, but the musculature and exercise of an ostrich is going to be totally different.
Yeah.
But ostrich was good, interesting.
Yeah,
Not what I was expecting, really.
New. You
But
need to.
and that's been a
you don't-
long time.
People make a mistake of treating ostrich like a bird when they should be treating it like beef.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, and I had ostrich jerky, and it was very close to beef jerky. So, yeah.
Plus, oysters are stupid. I have
And-
absolutely no guilt at all eating them.
Greg says, we have a ton of sand hills down here. Time to fire up the smoker.
Apparently in Texas, because I got checking the Parks and Wildlife, in that area you can have 3 of them. And apparently that is a metric butt ton of meat.
Yeah.
Apparently
Yeah,
it's
'cause
a
they're-
pterodactyl.
They're fairly good sized birds.
It's a
Yeah.
pterodactyl.
Yeah. I was just thinking that the next time I cook for the gang, I've been given some lamb,
You have.
Oh,
and
may
the
bring you
current
more.
plan is to make kibbeh out of it. Whether or not I'm going to do stuffed kibbehs, I don't know, because that might be beyond my skill level. But I will do something.
Go simple. Just,
Yeah, I'm more likely to go simple these days.
Padre says, treat them like beef, not fowl.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and it's like I have cooked duck, both wild and domestic, and I have cooked geese. Ducks and geese tend to be very fatty.
Yeah.
So if the ostrich that I had was very lean, and if sandhill is on that side of the
Yeah.
spectrum for birds, then you can't treat it the same way that you would
No.
a duck or a goose. You'll wind up with dry.
Yeah, ostrich tends to be dry on the dry side.
Right, because it's very lean.
it's very lean.
I had it wrapped with bacon down in Australia.
Yep.
That would probably
Oh.
work.
And they actually cooked the bacon for a change.
The best ostrich I ever had was ostrich fillets.
Yeah.
Ostrich steaks. And it's just a chunk of breast meat. And it was done in beef tallow.
Yeah.
And then left to rest with butter because you have to provide
Yeah.
fat because the
Yeah.
ostrich damn sure doesn't.
Ooh,
And that was that was damn fine.
I was going to say, a nice herb butter like
Yeah.
you would do with a steak.
Yeah.
Oh, Dagamore says, baked potato wedges done in duck fat.
No kidding.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
If you ever do a rotisserie duck, and I learned this from a little Moroccan guy. If you ever do rotisserie duck, if you're smart, you'll take some cubed red or yellow taters in a pan under where it's
Yes.
rotating
Mhm.
and let the fat drip on the potatoes.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. We ate a ton of that in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Gia roasted chicken.
Oh,
And there was always a big pan in the bottom with potato wedges in it.
there's
I'm trying to remember what it was I did. Might have been brisket. I put a big pan of baked beans under it to
Yep.
catch all the drippings.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was good.
I make good baked beans.
There used to be at the Grand Buffet, or as Rita says, Grand Fluffet.
Yeah.
At the Grand Fluffet, they used to have Thai chicken, and Thai chicken
Yeah.
was very dark meat. They changed it because Thai chicken was duck.
Yeah.
And most folks they get it. They were expecting chicken. They got duck. They wouldn't eat it. I would pound down Thai chicken.
Yeah.
Like it was going out of style because whoever was in the kitchen, the Mexican guy in the Chinese buffet, knew his way around duck.
That reminds me of a restaurant went to down in Perth with Julie and her family.
Hmm?
It was a Greek restaurant managed by a Australian. The hostess was Japanese. The waiter was Indian, and the cook was Mexican.
Not a Greek in the place.
Not a Greek in the place.
Nope.
And the Japanese girl spoke perfect Australian English. And I had just come from Japan.
Ah.
So I'm expecting the Japanese
accent.
version of English.
Yes.
And I get this
Good
old
night,
yeah, little girl. Good day, mate. The hell?
mate.
And we wasted another hour of your time.
China Star in Amarillo, owned by a Vietnamese family.
Yeah.
Cooking Mongolian food on a Mongolian thing by
Oh.
a Mexican. There was a Mexican cook cooking Mongolian food in a Chinese restaurant owned by Vietnamese.
I will go to Mongolian barbecue in a heartbeat.
No
Mm.
kidding.
I love that stuff.
No kidding. I miss Genghis Grill.
Can't find it anymore. Damn it.
Last time I went to one, it was in Anchorage, Alaska. It's been a while.
Yeah.
We had a Genghis.
And I know
Grill
which
here.
one you're talking about too.
Mm-hmm.
It got Jody weighted.
Yeah,
Genghis Grill got Jody weighted.
yeah.
Say the same thing as Waffle House and Five Guys, and stop letting that man open restaurants.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Anyway, folks, have a good weekend. Be safe.
Stop drinking.
Uh,
Well, he's drunk.
and remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Or the drunk fox.
Y'all be
Or
safe.
the drunk fox, yeah.
Straight up. And flat.
Oh, Genghis Grill is just north of FinCon Hotel. Oh,
Yeah. There used to be one in
Ooh.
Wichita.
Plans.
Used to be.
Yeah.
Plans.
There'll never be another one.
well, I know where I'm going for dinner one
Oh.
night. All right, folks. Y'all have a good one. Again, I apologize for the delay because we were sidebarring over here.
We've given
we
them
do
their
that.
full
Yeah.
hour.
We do that.
Run over a little.
Go read books, folks.
Remember,
We're starving artists for a reason.
yeah, Jim Totten has a has pre-order up. Pre-order
Yeah.
his pole dance aviation.
We'll see you next week.
See you
Bye-bye.
Tuesday.